Hello and welcome to the first ever Pop Pop Bang podcast with myself, Paul Ellis. And I've got my first ever guest, so we've got a massive welcome for the comedian, impressionist, current affairs commentator, and all-round hilarious person, Intel Lady. Welcome, Intel Lady. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me on. It's an honour to be the first.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's quite nervous. I did a podcast ages and ages ago, about 2 years ago, but it was completely different. It was about like boxing and all that sort of stuff. So I've completely changed my channel around, got rid of all my old content. So we're starting completely from fresh. So yeah, hopefully it should be good. So just want to tell me a little bit about sort of how you got started in comedy and impressions and how you got doing that kind of stuff.
Well, it was kind of accidental, really. I didn't set out to do it. I was a professional actor for many years and then stopped to have my family.
Right.
So it was kind of a sort of a long stop. It was like a 20-year stop. And I hadn't particularly got any desires or plans to go back into it at all. I was quite happy with where I was and what I was doing. And then 2020 happened, and I think everyone's lives changed completely, didn't they?
Definitely.
And initially, it's so hard to even explain how I get here because it's so ridiculous. So in 2020, obviously, everyone was fed up. A lot of people felt very cheated, very low. People lost their jobs. People didn't know where their next month's rent was coming from. Everything was a mess for everybody. And that created a bit of a vacuum, really. And out of that emerged these characters, these people who had small platforms initially on places like YouTube and BitChute and Rumble. And they decided to sell hopium, I guess, talk about the current things that were happening. So obviously the reason why none of us were going anywhere. I'm trying to be really careful how I word things because this is YouTube.
Yeah.
So people were sort of unable to go anywhere. So there was a captive audience to watch alternative channels because I think people got really, really sick of the rolling death tolls, the rolling doom and gloom. Yeah. And they were already miserable with everything that was going on. They didn't need anything else making it worse. So they looked for alternative entertainment. And I think, again, when you stumble across people saying certain things and you're bored, you're going to listen to things more. And there was a huge amount of people who were peddling a lot of, I hate this term, but it is kind of true, misinformation, I suppose. Talking about what was going on and then claiming that they had intel and insiders intel. And that, I'll give you an example. Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, the 2020 election did not go well for Donald Trump. And this created a lot of anger and panic and people just losing hope with everything. They'd already had a bad year. It was getting worse. And there were people that were swooping in going, don't worry, I've got an insider who knows that Trump actually did win and he's going to get inaugurated. Joe Biden will not be inaugurated. It's not going to happen. There was a number of people doing this.
Yeah, and they were saying this is fact, weren't they? This is actual fact. Yeah, I
exactly. Yeah, this is. I mean, you probably recognise some of the names and faces. They were everywhere. They were absolutely everywhere, all popping up, and they were all singing off this same bizarre hymn sheet of, "Oh, the white hats have been in contact, and they're telling us this." And for years and years and years, I mean, this is. I can prove it now as well. I said it back then. This is absolute nonsense, but I mean, it's been proven now in 2024 when he's literally running to be president again that everything they were saying were complete lies. It was absolute lies. There was no such, white hat operation to put Trump back in office, to reinstate. That was it. That was the buzzword, the reinstating of Donald Trump. He's going to be reinstated as president.
Yeah.
But they were feeding the hopium to everybody, and they were charging €11 a month to listen to insider information about stuff, and it just got ridiculous. It went from that to trafficking allegations.
Like Pizzagate and all that stuff.
That
may have been genuine, but there was it was like a whole sort of movement on the back of it of just crazy mentalness, wasn't it? Basically.
Well, the deep underground military bases, or DUMs, that are everywhere and are just chock full of little people and all this, and it's like, I'm trying to be so careful with what I say.
No, I think they take a kernel of truth, don't they? That's actually there, and then it just spirals out of control completely.
This is it, because we're not saying that isn't a thing, and it isn't a massive problem. It is a huge problem. But when people who are charging their captive audience money are saying, and they start exaggerating, and like, I can't remember what year it was, but there was some really, really bad floods in France.
Right.
It might have been 2022, maybe 2022. And these people were coming out on their podcasts and stuff, were coming out with stories of all the drains were full, and out of the the drains were floating body parts. Because it was people that were down in the tunnels, and they were saying this with a straight face. It's like, isn't that strange that mainstream media have not reported on anything like this, but you are claiming that this is fact. And there was such glee in what they were saying, that the subjects that they were talking about were so serious and so horrible. But the expressions that they had on their faces was as if they were, reading the menu at McDonald's. It was just, there was no like emotion. There was no horror. There was no nothing. It was just, oh, well, this is what's happening. And it's like, so they're psychopaths, these people, absolutely crazy, but they were making so much money from the things that they were telling people. And you're like, hang on, what question did I ask her again? We're really getting a story here. I'm from Yorkshire. This is what we do. We talk too much. And gosh, where was I going? See, I've thrown myself off now with being silly. Basically, I had enough of seeing these ridiculous stories.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, there's no point in saying to people, stop listening to these people. They're lying. Because at the end of the day, they were starting to get very addicted to the hopium. That things are going to get better. They're promising, they're saying it's going to get better. It's all going to be okay. God's in charge, and that, God wins, and all of these buzzwords. And nothing ever changed. Everything just stayed the same. But they wanted their money because they were taking private jets to lovely holiday destinations.
So they had to keep this rolling, didn't they? They had to keep this building and building.
Yeah. And so then it was that I'm working with the Trump team. There was a lady in the UK who claimed she went out rescuing children for the Trump team. And there was a lady,
I think,
and there was a lady in the US doing the same thing. Oh God. She was just too good not to parody. Her backstory is absolutely ludicrously ridiculous and wonderful and highly entertaining. But she changed her backstory to make herself look like an absolute victim, like she was, like she didn't choose to be in the adult film industry. It was chosen for her. And so I couldn't leave that one. And she also claimed that she was kicking indoors and rescuing children and doing all of these things. She was not doing that. She was a total fraud. She's still wanted in California on felony charges. So these people are not good people. but they were making a lot of money. They were running GoFundMe scams.
Yeah.
All sorts of things were going on. And so I thought, right, that's it. There's no point in me doing a video going, guys, these people are frauds, they're liars. Nope. What can I do? Well, as I said before, I was an actor, and I took, I didn't even take time off. I just decided, well, that was it for me. I'm done. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but I'm in a different place now, and I didn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Until I did. And I thought, right, I'm gonna start parodying all of these people. I'm going to use their own words, all the things they're promising everyone, and I'm going to put it in that form of parody and let their followers see how ridiculous all of this is. It's ridiculous. None of it's coming true. And they'd use the same buzzwords any day now. Any day, a new financial system coming called the quantum financial system. The QFS, that's coming. Nasara Jasara, they've been running that Nasara Jasara scam for so long. I think since 2011.
There's a guy in this country called Brian Rose. Have you heard of him? He was one of those guys. Yeah. Oh, what a terrible just grifter. He started off, he was quite good when he first started off. He did a podcast and he was quite interesting, sort of self-help, self-development, all that sort of stuff. And then he went completely into into all that stuff that you're talking about, basically.
Yeah.
And I remember during the epidemic, kept getting adverts for his channel popping up on YouTube. And so he's literally selling his channel on YouTube as a sort of solution to people for what's going on. And his theories were this David Icke sort of stuff, which I do find quite interesting to listen to in an entertainment sort of way. But he was like peddling it as this is the solution to what's going on at the moment. It's just ridiculous.
He ran to be mayor of London as well, didn't he, Brian Rose?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he ran to be mayor of London. What a compliment! I mean, I don't think he got anywhere, did he? Whatsoever?
No, he didn't.
Well, to be fair, he probably would have been a bit better than Sadiq Khan, in all fairness.
I think anyone would have. I mean, my money was on Count Binface, but he didn't do very well.
Yeah.
But oh dear. Actually, would we have taken Brian Rose over Sadiq Khan? I think many people probably would have, actually.
I think a lot of people probably would have, to be fair. Not in London, though. They wouldn't have done in London. No. But everywhere else in the rest of the country, they would have done.
Yeah.
There's a mayor of Leeds now, isn't there? I don't think anybody even knows who it is. I know you said you're from Yorkshire.
Well, I mean,
the mayor in Manchester. What was his name now? I can't remember. It was just an absolute, just useless. Nobody has done nothing, and then they've got one in Leeds now, which I don't think anybody's even aware that there is. I know they've always had like a Lord Mayor, but they've got a mayor that's supposed to,
do stuff. None of them do anything, do they? I don't care what party they're in. None of them do anything, do they?
No.
And that's the thing. Now I'm doing this, and I'm obviously doing more political stuff. I've left the grifters where they are because I can't deal with these people, and they're ridiculous. I will definitely parody them on live stream. When I do live streams, people will say, "Oh, can you do so and so? Can you do so?" And I will do. I'll bring them back. I'll trot them back out for the live streams. But I tend not to do anything with them anymore because they're just saying the same old stuff. Or med beds as well. So there's a quantum financial system, or Nasara Jasara, and there's also med beds. These magical med beds that the Galactics have given us. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Galactic Federation of Light and all the gang, they've gifted Earth these med beds.
Wow.
We're not allowed them yet. I guess we've just not been good enough. We've not earned our med beds yet, and the military are holding them back. But any day now it's going to happen. But this is what they do, and we chortle at it because we're like, oh my god, how can people? But there are people who are putting off their cancer treatment.
Oh yeah, there are people that just hang on to every word, won't they?
Yeah. There was people not paying their mortgages because they truly believed a new financial system was coming in any day. And that all their debts would be forgiven. They wouldn't have a mortgage anymore. So they stopped paying it. And those people not going for cancer treatment. It's crazy.
There's these people on you know, in courts in America, and they go into the court, you know, they show everything's on camera, isn't it, in court in America? And so there's quite a lot of YouTube videos about it, and they go into the court as a defendant, and they say that they're what's called a sovereign citizen. And so they've basically seen all this stuff online that says that they think they know the law inside out. It's absolute nonsense. None of it's true. And then the judge just laughs at them and basically sends them down for like 6 months.
Exactly. It's I mean, we giggle at it, but it's like the people are so pulled into this world.
I saw that on the internet. It definitely must be true. I've seen it on the internet. I tell you what, my granddad, bless him, he's 95, right, and he's got a smartphone. He's on the internet. He absolutely loves it. He's brilliant. He's, you know, I mean, he drives me up the wall with it, having to show him how to do everything 14 times a day. But he absolutely loves it, and I'll go see him on a morning, and I'll go in. He'll say, "So it's been proven that Prince Harry's not Charles's." All right, proven. What's the source for that? What do you mean source? Well, where you've got it from? Well, Facebook. No, it's definitely true. Then it's definitely true. Every day he's got a new theory about, because he loves the royal family. He's always that generation. They're really into that, you know, that sort of stuff, and he thinks he knows the royal family. So every day he's got a new theory that he's read on Facebook about Prince Harry, or, you know, they've been abducted by aliens, something's happened, and he's adamant that this is the truth. But this is the internet. A lot of people actually do think, especially from older generation than ours. I mean, think that, you know, if it's in written form, then it's definitely true. And if it's in digital written form, then it's doubly true. It's quite fun, really.
Awesome. But I think it's also sort of judging people by your own standards as well, because you're an honest person. You believe yourself to be an honest person. You know you're an honest person. So why would anyone be dishonest? Why would anyone make up stories like that? Why would they do that? Because I wouldn't do that. And you can't judge people by your own standards, because you're going to get very disappointed if you do. And very skint, as many of these people have discovered. But it's so sad when you see these people, and you know they're grifters, and they're going on these fancy holidays and rubbing it in everybody's faces that they're going on these fancy holidays. You know, they're literally like vlogging from the Maldives, like, oh, here I am in my, you know, 5-star whatever in the Maldives, and and it's like, if I was paying this person's lifestyle, I would be genuinely pissed off. I don't want I don't want to see that. But yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So now you've moved on from parodying these low-level grifters to the real high-level grifters.
The high-level grifters.
You've gone from that to Angela Rayner in a DJ booth with, what was that? Is it Fisher? DJ Fisher, something like that? I don't know. I'm not up with these Gen Z things, but whoever she was with, he's gone. That's the latest grift, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're all the Labour Party are the gift that keeps on giving, from my perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're ruining the country in the process of it, but
exactly. I mean,
it's great for your channel.
It is, but we're all losers if we live in the UK under this government. I mean, look, the last lot were an absolute shower as well. We're not saying that, oh, it was better under Tories. It was terrible under the Tories. But it's like, we knew it would be bad under, I think we knew, didn't we, during elections? We're like, it's going to be bad, isn't it? It's going to be, but nobody was braced for just how bad it was going to be. And we've not even had the budget yet. And that is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
I'll be getting rid of the car, I think, after that. It's going to be cost an absolute fortune.
Well, I mean, everyone's going to have to sort of have a little rethink about, you know, what we do. I mean, from my perspective, obviously I'll have a ton of material, but at the end of the day, we're all going to go through the same winter, and I'm still going to be looking at my smart meter and breaking out into a sweat every single day. as it gets colder. I mean, it's cold up north, so I'm going to be, and this is what I do every single winter. I'm like, oh god, it's at 11 quid. It's at 11 quid, and it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you know, this is. But imagine how the elderly are going to feel.
Oh, exactly. With the winter fuel payment, it's just
Yeah.
the thing. The annoying thing about that is it's such a small amount of money that they're saving from that winter fuel payment in comparison to other things, like the amount of money that we're sending over to Ukraine is like 20, 30 times the amount of what they're saving on the winter fuel payment. It just makes no sense. Why would you not just cut that foreign aid down slightly, or one of the other massive expenditures that we got on ridiculous things down slightly, like Ed Miliband's wind farm project? You know, I mean, that guy is just, I can't stand the guy for a start, but he's so clueless in the job that he's doing. I've never known anything like it. I mean, he talks like he's some professor of energy, but he really doesn't. Well, he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about, because it's that project that he's running has lost millions already, and it's not even got going yet.
No, it's a total disaster. All of it, everything that they're doing. Everybody, even the people that were a bit sort of pro-Labour, quite supportive of Labour, even they're like, oh my God, what are they thinking? What the hell's going to happen? It's just getting worse and worse. I read today that David Lammy is on his way out to China. I don't know if he's already in China or he's on his way to China, and they've just quietly stepped back from the whole calling the treatment of the Uyghurs genocide. We're not going to say that anymore, because we want a £110 billion trade deal with China. So we're just going to say, let's leave it. We'll just leave it. We'll just don't worry about what we said before. Let's just focus on this deal. So, and it ultimately, everything, their bottom line is that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, David Lammy, how he's got a position. He's got to be one of the worst politicians I've ever known. I mean, I thought what's her name was bad, Diane Abbott. She's amazing compared to David Lammy. She's the brains of Britain. David Lammy is just the worst. Have you seen when he did? What was that game show that he did? Mastermind. He did Mastermind.
Yeah. What was his special subject?
I can't remember. I've just seen a clip of it, and it showed about 3 questions, and his answers were just absolutely bizarre. I don't know where he plucked them from, but they were just bizarre. I can't remember off the top of my head what they were, but it was just ridiculous. Yeah, he's definitely not the brightest bulb in the box by any means.
He isn't, but he does he gives me gems, and whenever he says something ridiculous, I will throw it into my Angela Rayner schedule. Like, I found the clip of him saying that men can grow their own cervix with the right hormones.
The last one, wasn't it? I think, or the one before that, maybe. Yeah.
Oh my God! I was like, I don't care where I'm putting that in. I will shoehorn that classic line in. It's got to go in somewhere. But it's just absolutely insane. I cannot believe that the lineup they've picked the worst, haven't they? It
is literally like spitting images real. That's what it's like.
Yeah,
watching this just carry on. It's like a carry on film. It literally is like that. It's like a carry on film. I mean,
carry on or slavers. That's what we need. Carry on or slavers.
Where did you get the Basic Instinct enthusiast? Is that actually a thing, or is it just where did it come from? I don't get that. I mean, it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. Has she said something about Basic Instinct or something, or is it the wig?
She didn't. So she actually, I think it's based on just a quite a misogynistic comment from the Tories. So when she was in opposition, whoever was in Parliament that day and got a through line to her, claimed that she was crossing and uncrossing her legs, and said it was like something out of Basic Instinct.
No way.
So I actually did it as a swipe at the Tories,
Right,
not
got
as a
you.
swipe at her.
Yeah,
The original sort of, that's where it came from, was a swipe at them, because it's just one of those things that men say. Some men, if they haven't got an argument, they will take it down a level and
yeah,
make it something a bit seedy. And I think it was one of those kind of seedy comments.
yeah. It's just a
Um,
ridiculous thing to say in
it
politics,
is.
especially, isn't it? It's just
It's a bit. It was kind of pathetic,
yeah,
and she probably did right to ignore it. But I thought, I'm going to run with it, and so she sort of owns it in a way. It was like her sort of slapping him across the face by saying it. Oh yeah, and it was tongue in cheek. Oh, and I'm a
yeah,
basic
yeah.
instinct enthusiast. So that's kind of where it came from. But everyone loves it. And obviously people have got different interpretations of the truth of that story. And,
Yeah.
when I see people write in the comments, oh, it was when she flushed her at the other side. And yeah, but she probably didn't do
I
that, did
don't
she?
think she.
Because
No, that's
she was in Parliament, she was doing her job, and what person doesn't cross and uncross their legs when they've got to sit for hours in a boring place listening to boring people? You're going to fidget, and you are going to sit and wiggle about. Everybody does it.
I mean, she does come across probably as one of the most unprofessional
Oh
MPs
God, yeah,
in the place.
absolutely,
I can't see her
absolutely.
doing that.
She is, yeah. I mean, I'm not defending her, but I'm defending that comment, and where that came from,
Yeah, yeah.
because I thought that was ridiculous thing to say. But I mean, good grief, she is glorious to me. I love her in a, oh my God, how did you get this job? How did you get where you are kind of way.
For
I
an
just,
impressionist, she's got it all, hasn't she? She's got a speech impediment for a start. She's got the mannerisms are just all over the place. It's crazy. It's
yeah.
just perfect to do a skit on someone. So is that why do you think it? Is that why you think it's sort of blown up so big? Because it's definitely your biggest character, isn't it? That one.
It is, yeah. I mean, people love her, love my version of her, and I think because I am making it about the politics and the hypocrisy of
Yeah.
the entire party, not just her. It took me ages to get that voice right, because my older videos, I didn't get a voice right at all.
I see.
And
It was a bit more Rochdale
it
Bolton to
was,
start off with, I think, and now she's got a
yeah,
bit more of that proper mank.
yeah,
No, I don't know, like me.
yeah. Yeah, so I had to work on it. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I just fell into it and could do it straight away. No, I couldn't actually. I kind of made a mess of it, and then but I do listen to people, people's notes, and people said, oh, actually, if she just said this like that and just said that, like, I'm like, you're right, okay. I'm not precious like that. I don't get all offended and how dare you?
Yeah,
I'm the professional. Yeah, how dare you? I'm not going to do that. I'll listen to people, and I think I've just about got it now. People would argue and say, no, you haven't.
no, you have. I think even the Aya at the start is brilliant. And that has been stitched before I've even started at Aya, because that's literally what she does. It's great. It's great. Honestly,
It's
really
fun.
good.
I mean, she's my favorite. I've got to say, I absolutely adore playing her. People love it when she starts losing her shit and getting really angry.
That's the best bit,
And
yeah.
I've got to say, I do as well. It is
Yeah.
so much fun, because I know I'm always building up to the point where she completely loses it. But it's fun sort of getting there, and I never know when that's going to happen, because I don't write scripts. I just sort of press
Right.
record and
Oh, really? So do you have a sort of thought of what you're going to talk about
yeah.
roughly? Yeah, yeah.
I know. Okay, I've got to. Okay, so this has happened this week. All right, she's gone to a warehouse this week. So, right, I'll talk about that. And then I thought, actually, no, she can still be in the warehouse. Let's put her somewhere else. Let's put her in a forklift truck. Let's do something
Yeah.
different. And so I know, okay, I've got to discuss this, I've got to discuss that, and this person was with me. I need to, I might make a note of somebody's name if I forget, because I don't know who half these MPs are. So I'll make a note. Okay, Lisa Nandy and Jonathan Reynolds or whatever. That I'll do that, but I won't write a script to stick to. I'll just spitball into the camera, and this is why there's going to be a lot of outtakes at the end of the year, because, and they'll all be different as well from the original
sketch. Sometimes the outtakes are funnier than the actual sketch when you watch them back, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes because I don't know when I'm going to say something, and if I come out and say something, well, it's all unexpected, and it even tickles me a bit, then I won't be able to get through it without cracking up. And then I'll have to.
Yeah.
I think the David Lammy growing your own cervix thing absolutely set me off. I couldn't.
Did it take you ages to record that? Yeah.
It took me a few attempts, because every time I got to that point, I was, building up to it, and I'm like, and our David said that you actually grow your own cervix, and then that was it. I was just gone. I was like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. So that took a few, but hopefully I'll have that. I usually put an outtakes video out at the end of the year, but this year it's just like non-stop Angela Rayner outtakes.
So is she still staying at her mate's house at the minute? When have we got the next one?
It's all above board. She's declared it, and she's there. But I just thought, I came up with that, and I thought that's where she has to be for a while. But to show the absolute hypocrisy of the Labour Party, when they weren't even in power, and they were bitching and moaning about everything Boris and his gang of idiots were doing, and rule breaking and everything. I
noticed that you've got, like, every time you've got a new prop, haven't you, in the background? Like, it started off, it's like a couple of pictures, and then there's like some knickers on a washing line. It's great. That means stitches, the props in the background.
The super tenants, cans of super tenants. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have to give credit where credit's due. I don't edit my videos. My friend edits my videos, and he put the picture of James O'Brien, the framed picture of James O'Brien, on the shelf, and that had me absolutely howling.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that, because he's such a darling for Labour's, and so I did. Once he did that, I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. And I just think it's absolutely brilliant. I crack up when I see it, because I don't know what he's going to put in. And then he'll go, I've sent you video. He's just done another one. I did one today. I've done Yvette Cooper today, and I decided, I don't know if you've been following this storyline. It's absolutely brilliant, with Nigel Farage, Patrick Christie's, and a migrant called Mad.
With the gun on his face.
The Kalashnikov tattoo. He sounds like a smashing chap.
He says he's not at all violent. He doesn't agree with violence, but he's got a Kalashnikov tattoo.
Yeah, I could see him calling the bingo down the local old people's home. It'd be brilliant. But I thought, right, I'm going to have to cover this. So I came up with a concept of Yvette Cooper being absolutely disgusted with Nigel Farage and Patrick Christie's for being so unwelcoming and rude and presumptuous about somebody who is interested in our country. How dare they? And it was just typical far right extremism. So and the background he's put together for that had me howling as well. So I'm looking for. I haven't put that one out yet. I might put it out later today.
Thank you so much for joining me, Intel Lady. It's been hilarious. Do you just want to give out? Do you just want to share your socials at all, and let us know, where anyone can find you who wants to check your stuff out?
Absolutely, it's Intel Lady on YouTube, Intel Lady on Intel Lady 1 on TikTok, and I'm also on Twitter, X. So I can't say Twitter anymore. I mean, it's X is as Intel Lady. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully we'll catch up again soon, because it has been really good. Thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you later. Take care. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you.
See you later.